Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to The Walking Dead, the final season. We finished episode 2, so now we're gonna jump into episode 3, Broken Toys. And unless somebody objects too much, I'm about to let AJ just straight up torture Kane for information, or the whole group straight up torture Kane for information. That's because they've kidnapped two of our members in their raider assault, which took way too long to set up. It was basically the second half of all of Suffer the Children was just preparing for an attack that was way shorter. Uh, you can kind of tell that there was a certain level of lack of budget direction there, because you could have easily taken 20 minutes of the game that was preparation for the raid and put that into a much longer, much more brutal raid attack, because that was fairly quick. I imagine what we're going to do is spend this
Previously
entire
on The Walking
episode just
While searching for a place to
recovering
call home,
uh,
AJ and I
our
found an
two
old
kidnapped
boarding
people
school
and
run
defeating
by
the
kids
raiders.
deep in the forest.
This is the first
Their
episode
leader
done
was a
by
guy named Marlon.
Skyline.
And AJ pulled the trigger.
I guess there's
I
a scenario where
told AJ he
AJ
was justified for killing
didn't
him.
pull the trigger.
The other kids didn't see it that way. They voted to kick us out. I thought we'd never return. Then, AJ and I were attacked by Abel, one of the raiders Marlon had given the twins to. He was with someone I thought I'd never see again. Lily.
I guess there might have been a
We
scenario
were
where it
almost
wasn't
eaten
Lily.
by walkers when suddenly one of them spoke to me. His name was James, an ex-whisperer who didn't believe in killing walkers. He helped me treat AJ, but without real medicine, he wouldn't make it. The kids didn't turn away the sad sight of AJ and let us back inside.
I doubt there was
After
a scenario
I told
where
them
they
how we
wouldn't
could
have
defend
let
the
him.
school against the raiders, they were willing to let us stay, at least until the fight.
And I doubt AJ
I
could have
decided
ever
to help
died.
Violet in the bell tower.
That was quite
We
a
looked at
jump.
the stars together, and I admitted I had feelings for her. She
That
felt the
felt
same way.
fairly creepy to
Then the
all of a
raiders
sudden
finally
just
came.
turn
They busted open
Clementine
our
into a
gates,
lesbian.
But the kids stayed hidden as planned.
Although I also
Until 10 ran out
feel
of
like it
cover,
would have been fairly
hoping for a chance
creepy
to learn about his missing
do the
sisters.
same with Lewis
The
and
bomb went off, and attempting to save 10, Mitch threw himself at Lily
have a
and got a knife
relationship
to the throat.
with Lewis
With
instead.
only a second to decide, I fired and saved Violet. They got away with 3 of our friends, and we had no idea where they'd gone. But we knew someone who did.
So, yeah, there is some hope here that Skybound came in here and finished the job and did a good job with it, because that is the parent company that owns The Walking Dead. Clearly, this is not a game series that has any resale value whatsoever if it just abruptly ends. At a certain point, the game would have just been completely review bombed, and to the point where they would have probably had to remove it from sale if that was the case. And I feel like Skybound had to step in and probably spend a decent amount of money to finish several projects that weren't finished. Now is not the time to be digging graves. They need to fix their gate.
At the start, I was so little.
The subtitles are now blue
The
instead of
nurse
white.
looked after me.
They look nicer.
Said he
They
was
have a
sick sometimes.
shadow to
He
them.
was always nice
But
to me.
I don't feel like blue is the right color.
Now he's gone.
The graphics might look a little bit better even.
Stabbed in the eye by some asshole who never even knew his name.
Let's see. Revenge?
Mitch was looking after all of us. He gave his life so we could go on fighting.
I know that. Doesn't make it any easier.
He'd want us to find our friends and bring them home safe.
And he'd want us to kill the people who took them.
Mitch being
AJ's waiting for you in the basement.
particularly
We got Abel tied up tight.
too much of
alive,
a
but
killer
He's out cold. Thanks.
might be a problem. But no, Willie being, that's Willie. I
should
thought his
bury
name was
Mitch.
Mitch,
It's time.
but I never even grasped it. Yeah, Willie turning into a psychopath is totally believable.
Get away from him! You're the reason he's dead!
Willie!
Well, it's true! We had a plan, and that idiot messed it up! Well, someone has to say it! It's what everyone's thinking!
10. I'll take care of this. Talk to Abel, find out where Lily took Lewis, Omar, and a sim. And Clem, don't be afraid to, hurt him a little. Maybe you'll get more out of him than we did.
So we get the okay from Violet to straight up torture him. I thought they may just do it that in the open air where he was sitting instead of tying him up and putting him in a basement. But I guess they wanted to reuse this animation, and it's not a bad idea since this had already been animated before. Yeah, we will want to keep an eye here to see if there is slightly better animation. Although, frankly, unless they're gonna make a claim, that's probably the girl zombie blood. Unless you're going to make the argument that this second half of this game is actually running a completely different engine, like the Unity engine, I wouldn't be particularly impressed by better graphics. It would just be a statement about how bad and how overworked Telltale employees were, and at a certain level, yeah, I think bad is not too extreme of a
to hold him.
statement that they got overworked and then their quality slipped. We're gonna beat him over the head with the sketch pad. Let's go ahead and pet the dog. That was a jump in animation. He was sitting up. There's no reason to do a change there. You have Rosie, she's my dog now. Alright, so we've just straight up taken ownership of a dog. Yep, and AJ's playing with his revolver. Can't walk up to the stairs. I'm just getting collectibles, and I'm getting collectibles fairly fast enough that it feels like
Got your gun back, huh?
we aren't gonna have too many opportunities to do much in this episode.
Don't want dibs.
It's different like this, with them all broken. But I still hate them.
Ready?
So AJ's not as much the psychopath as he wants, as we thought. Let's see if let's start with AJ and then we'll take over. Try to do a little good cop, psycho, childish cop.
Wake him up.
The fuck? Well, that ain't no way to wake an old man up from his afternoon nap. I was having a nice dream, too.
It's funny, the
girl I used to
text
know
keeps changing.
Before. She also had me tied up, but
color.
I wasn't a prisoner, if you get my meaning.
Let's look and see if the settings have changed at all. Like, it'd be really weird if they were different. No. We should play with that bokeh effect at some point after we play the whole story. Yeah, there's no new settings. It's just now we have colorful subtitles, and I imagine we'll see a bunch of changes. A bunch of changes in just artistic
No offense,
designs.
but I'd rather go back to my dream, so if you don't mind. Damn it, Squirt. Easy on the broken parts.
I don't like your voice.
Well, I'm
Let's
real
see.
sorry about that, but it's the only one I got.
Do I have to respond? AJ will remember that.
And don't call me Squirt. You're a squirt.
You never done this before, have you? First thing you learn, I can't tell you shit if I pass out from the pain.
Yeah, we'll risk it.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be, okay? I just want to know where Lily took my people.
It doesn't matter. As soon as she gets there, she's gonna turn around and come right back for me. You better give me the 5-star treatment. If I'm smiling when she gets here, you might be able to trade me for a little mercy.
Let's
We
see.
underestimated you little shits, but
See if we can
won't make the same mistake.
try our
twice.
words a little bit
She'll
here.
be back. Trust me. She can't afford to leave anyone
You want
behind.
to alternate between
You
the
think
physical
Lily
and the
would
mental
come back for you? Look at the
manipulation.
state you're in. You're worthless to her now.
I can heal.
There is no rescue party, Abel. Only a bunch of pissed off kids who want you dead.
So tell us where our friends are. You trade it for mercy.
Lily will never give him up. Only reason we came here was for more manpower. Losing Jonathan and me for 3 sprouts that can barely hold a gun. Even a dummy like me can do the math on that one.
We're gonna get him back.
You don't know what it's like out there. It's a bloodbath. One community against another. From Richmond to the coast. Back at the Delta, we're at war. With some really sick fucks who make me look like the Virgin
Well,
Mary.
we know
We need
Delta.
people to fight it. Soldiers who do what we say. Point the guns the way we tell them to. You little turds are supposed to be easy pickings.
No fucking way I'd let my people fight for you.
I'm starting to think you're mad at me. You think we like doing raids like this? Our home is under threat. It's a good home. Built to last.
obviously not
Do a
that
lot to
good.
protect it. Maybe you can understand that.
And I do a lot to get my friends back. So stop
Yeah, the
wasting
mental
my time.
manipulation is probably better than the actual torture, but for a video game, it
Okay.
is going to be torch.
Front pocket. The answer to all your questions. Read it.
Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. What the fuck? Is this code?
No, it's fucking Leviticus. I was hoping it'd be some timely, moralistic shit about turning the other cheek. Well, come on. That thing ain't gonna light itself. Wanna know where your friends are? Smoke will clear my mind.
I'd just hold it in
Help
front
me
of him.
remember stuff. Like where Lily went. Come on, kid. Don't make me wait all day.
Burn him, let him smoke, snub out cigarette. Poisoned, you think? Poisoned. Burn him? Yeah, I think it's poisoned. Let's stub it out.
Oops.
Bitch! Shit.
That's a lot of blood.
This is not good.
He's gonna die, isn't he?
Let's see. Well, let's ask AJ what he wants.
Isn't that what you wanted?
I did, but
You're gonna get your wish. When you pushed me off that balcony, something must have burst inside of me. Shit. I never wanted things to end like this. Everything. It all got out of hand. Now look at me. I'm a fucking mess.
will he turn?
No.
This is a new threat you can make, certainly.
My whole life, everything I ever got, I got with my own two hands and my will. For my body.
She's just sitting there
on
watching,
me.
listening to him talk.
To take control.
That's kind of the problem with
I'll tell
a
you
story
where to
like
find
this
Lily.
in comic books in
Just
general,
promise.
is that there's more
won't
talking
let me turn.
than action compared to a video game.
I'm begging you.
Alright, we're good about lying and giving our word, so let's do that.
If you're honest with me, I'll put you out of your misery. You have my word.
Okay, we have a boat. We're docked a few miles west of here at an old fishing pier. Your friends are on the boat. You got what you wanted. Please, don't let me become one of those things. Please, I don't
Let's
want
see.
to turn.
Mercy kill him is probably the right response because it also just makes it safer. If we let him turn, then he's a threat.
Not that. I wanna let me keep my face.
You don't need to watch this.
I want to.
So we offer generosity to AJ and Mercy kill him. I think if we don't move fast here, he might also turn. Of course, if he just lied there.
At least he can't hurt anyone anymore.
AJ looks to your guidance for this
Yeah.
world. I imagine there was probably a you just tortured a man in front of him. Yep. I imagine there was probably a longer delay between this
Come on,
episode
We have a boat to find.
and the previous episode, so it's almost like a soft reboot as a little bit of an experiment for Skybound games. But clearly, this had already been labeled as the final season. I'm fairly certain it had been labeled as the final season, and I don't think Skybound Games serves itself well to just continue down the path of telling a story like Telltale has been telling it. Even if they want to bring Clementine into a new game series, it should be a new game series. Like, I'd be fine with Clementine or AJ showing up in something that is more of a Mass Effect style game or Fallout Skyrim style game. Something with more collectibles and more running and gunning and shooting. This intro implies that there might be a good ending at the end of this, but I don't fully believe it. After having 3 seasons of bad endings, I seriously doubt we're gonna get much of a good ending. It probably would have been beneficial to force everybody to watch the torture, frankly. all of
find
the
boat,
other
we'll look for a way
people
to sneak on board.
need more
Yeah,
hardening.
10 doesn't fuck it up this time.
It wasn't Tin's fault.
Yes, it was! Mitch died because he...
Say one more thing about Tin. I dare you.
Guys, look!
You don't even get to interfere with that. So are they living on the boat or are they using the boat? I thought they were just using the boat to get to their areas, but apparently they were just on the river on the outside of the safe zone, very, very close to where the school was.
You see anything?
There is...
Beach, a boat, and a wood street in the water.
That's called a pier.
Pier.
Okay, let's spread out and focus on those areas. Keep your heads low.
Seems like we're missing people. Why is Ruby not with us? Why is Tin not with us? I guess we're spying on the raiders. Which, I mean, I can kind of go to the left and I can kind of go to the right, and that's seems to be about it. Let's see. There's a rabbit's foot.
A rabbit's foot?
Omar used to carry around a rabbit's foot. You don't think...
We'll take it home. We can give it back to him once we've saved him.
I really hate the way this game turns you around.
Anything useful?
Looks like building material. Furniture. Probably stuff from the train station.
Yeah, it seems really strange that so many of these people have arrows, and they didn't tell us that they
Torches?
had arrows, and then they
Maybe.
have binoculars.
Why?
We could use the fire.
Yeah, you start a fire, it could be a good distraction.
Sheet metal, wood, and quite a bit of it.
We should have that stuff.
Yeah, sure, but that Stewart's Fitzgerald. It'd be funny if this was like one of the boats we saw in the Michonne spin-off
They're
story.
loading those rafts with supplies.
I could cut those loose and just ride them downriver. Easy.
You could cut them loose or burn the supply rafts. If you cut them loose, they'll probably mostly just chase after them, where burning them
Find anything
would
over
bring
here?
more
They
people
have
out to put out
horses?
the fire.
Let me see.
Okay.
If we cut those horses free, we could slow down anyone trying to chase us.
Get rid of the horses.
More torches.
I think burning them.
Setting the hay on fire would get their attention. Scare the horses too.
We could get on the boat easier that way.
You do a ring of fire around them, you could potentially do some massive damage, but there's a danger of killing the captives in any process like this. I guess there aren't any other collectibles to find in this small area. This definitely feels like, oh, they ran out of budget, because definitely feels like there would be more here than just a empty field.
You ever seen this boat before?
No, Marlin kept us confined to the safe zone. Pier leading up to the boat? It's our only way in and out.
Well, let's see what else is down there.
Okay. So we've got a entrance, a pier, a path, and raiders.
There are a few on deck, a couple others on the pier. Could be more inside.
Looks like they're well armed too.
I think you skipped the rescue mission here, and you burned the boat.
I see Lewis.
Abel wasn't lying. This is it.
Well, at least we get that confirmation. Which that would really suck if you let out an all-out assault on this boat and it turned out to be
There's
the
no
wrong
good
people.
cover leading up to the boat. We're gonna need one hell of a distraction.
Walkers!
What was that?
Maybe if we could get walkers on the beach somehow.
Maybe not as hard as you'd think.
Because you'd use walkers as a diversion. Like, either they just walked into electric wire or they got tased by some kind of electric bolts. And this is not the kind of world where electric bolts would have been a thing. So I don't know
see
what's
any
going on.
obvious place to keep prisoners.
They're probably below deck. We should have asked Abel.
When he said on a boat, I didn't think it'd be this big.
I don't know if you're particularly safer on a boat. Like, maybe zombies in this world don't walk on the bottom of rivers, or maybe they do, but they can't reach up and climb up boats that way. If you were going to be safe on a boat, I would think you would definitely want to be more in the middle of an ocean and not
The pier
just
has
down
plenty of cover on it.
a river.
If we're careful, we can sneak in undetected.
If they were catching fish also from the runoff of this river, which is what the map indicated, is that the fishing shack was coming from a stream that came off of this river, then why would they not be able to catch fish on this boat a lot easier than trying to scavenge? I guess maybe they do potentially have plenty of food and they just need people that can hold guns, because they are just in this horrible war.
I can see an entrance.
I saw that too. It looks like there's a door at the other end.
There's a small opening at the top of those closed doorways.
I don't know why you wouldn't
AJ and I know how to deal with those.
just try and run. So we're gonna have to make AJ
We
crawl in
should
the
get out of
boat.
here before they spot us. We can talk through the plan once we're somewhere safe.
And that's a pretty bad scene for an action game. To straight up just have us
What's the
do
plan?
recon.
Well, they've got guards posted on the pier and the boat. There's no way we can take them all at once. Our only hope is to distract them while we sneak on board.
We should burn their stuff.
That'd work. We could burn the supplies or the hay they keep for the horses.
Whatever we don't burn, we should take. Ruby
Well,
would love
then-
to have the horses. But I'd rather steal those supplies.
Hmm.
I could build traps. Weapons.
Ooh. Let's burn the
we'll
hay.
steal their supplies and burn the hay as our distraction.
Horses are gonna be
If you're
hard
going to
to
steal from the
take
rafts,
care.
you have to do it carefully.
Wouldn't do it any other way.
The fire will lure the raiders away from the
Ruby's
boat.
not
and
even
we
in
can
the
sneak
plan,
across
so
the pier.
If
why would
anyone
I
sees
side
us,
with her?
they'll shoot.
You remember that guy I told you about, James? He sent in walkers to save us from Lily and Abel. Maybe we could convince him to do it again. If we lead a big enough group of them onto
James
the
has
beach,
been
we
kind
can
of a
blend in without
non-character
being
in the
seen.
previous episode, and it seems like they're bringing him back just because he has a special ability, and they couldn't have
Perfect.
made the argument that anybody at the
What about
school
after we get everyone home? I mean,
would
Raiders
know
just
how to
come
do
attack
what
us again.
James
What
can
then?
do.
Hide, quick!
This is gonna suck because we're gonna find this person is Minnie, or one of Tin's sisters.
A raider. Has to be. You all stay here. I'll see if they know anything that could help us.
And see, that's gonna be weird because we're either gonna accidentally kill this raider.
Drop it.
Let's see. Let's ask about the captives.
Where do you keep the people you steal? I don't know what you're... I'm not fucking around. Answer the question. The boiler deck. Second deck. They're all there. Clementine, wait. That's Minnie.
Yeah, that was obviously gonna happen.
After the
Compromised.
attack, I wasn't sure. I mean, I heard they burned half your school down. Who survived? Ruby? Mitch? Brody?
Don't tell her anything.
10?
Ruby and 10 made it. Mitch didn't. And Brody, she died.
10's boots holding up okay?
His boots.
They're so old, there are more holes than rubber. I duct taped him up the last time I saw him, but that was a while ago. His boots are fine. You're Clementine. The girl who took over after Marlon died.
I didn't take over.
Weird. I thought everyone would want to lean on their own. Not the new kid. Violet's the one in charge. Really? The Violet I knew could barely stand to talk to people, let alone play class president.
Boy, does her voice
You were the
acting
one who
sound like...
convinced the school to fight back.
Sounds
Where I'm
like it's
standing, that puts you in
very
charge.
wispy.
Your leadership is going to get my little brother killed. Excuse me? Abel figured he could talk Marlon into handing everyone over like he and Lily did, like they did before. You ruined the whole plan.
It's so whispery.
Well, he gave you and Sophie away.
And I get that they're
Yeah,
whispering.
and we all survived it. Marlon would have never made them fight the way you did. He wouldn't have gotten people killed.
Minnie, you're wrong. Clem protected us.
Yeah. And how come so many people are dead? You know, Minnie, you sound an awful lot like one of them. That's really close to the speech Lily gave me in the woods. It's the truth.
Where's Sophie? Is she alive?
She died protecting the Delta. A hero.
Yeah, no, the brainwashed.
A hero? God, you...
Minerva!
Shit.
Rockingham! Finish up and head back. I want to be in before dark.
I mean, I don't see how you don't just see this as being used. You're slave labor.
Yes, ma'am.
You're turned into child soldiers. You're not protecting your own life and liberty, really. You're protecting someone else's.
Our boat leaves for the Delta in 2 days. Then it'll be a couple of weeks before we can come back for the rest of you. When we do, don't fight. The only way you're gonna save your people is to let us take them. I'm serious. Don't fight this.
Let's see.
It's not too late, Minnie. You could come back to the school with us. No. No, I couldn't.
But yeah, we're just trying to manipulate her by saying that to compromise her loyalties.
Are you okay?
Nothing's changed. Our plan is to get onto the boat and save our friends.
So that's what we're gonna do. You all should head home. Start getting things ready. Get everyone caught
There
up on the
is a
plan.
plan here.
Everyone except 10.
I warned you.
Enough, both of you. AJ and I will go find James. Good luck.
If they did let themselves all get taken and had not even fought at this point, they could have planned to potentially slice the throats of all the adults as they slept later, but you potentially may never be in a situation where they
How many walkers do you think
trust
James will help us get?
trust you quick enough.
15, 100, 1,000?
You do have this
I
idea.
don't. Ow.
Gunshot
The-
wound.
It feels like someone pinched me from inside.
Here, let's rest a second.
Yeah, there you do have that slight advantage of being kids and them underestimating you instead of doing the
Right.
head-on assault like they did.
I keep thinking. When Willie said all that stuff about Tin before, I got so mad.
This will be funny if AJ says
He was
he's
being mean. And Tin wasn't even there to defend himself.
if AJ
wanted to hurt him.
starts to have romantic
know I
feelings
shouldn't,
for
but-
Tin.
I just can't stop thinking about it. I want to just punch his head. I tried breathing, kicking rocks. I don't
Think
like
it,
this
don't
feeling.
do it.
Wanting to hurt somebody.
It's okay to get mad at people. You can't help that. But those thoughts have to stay in your head, okay? Don't act on them. Ever.
Okay. I'm strong. I can control what I do. But not what I think. Like, I think I'm mad at Tin too. Running out of cover when Lily attacked the school was really stupid. But
Yep.
he just doesn't know stuff like we do.
True.
And then Willie started yelling at him instead of helping him learn.
True.
Why don't the other kids know all the stuff we know? When there's a plan, you have to follow it. And when you yell at someone, it just makes them not listen.
Well, why don't we teach them? They're smart. Someone just has to show them what to do.
Yeah. I want Tin to know how to be safe. We can show them how to be smart, like us.
Yeah.
It's weird that people
There's a
are so
danger
different.
of developing narcissism
It
here.
is Erickson's boarding school for troubled youth.
Troubled youth. Trouble like bad? So they did bad things? Why?
Okay, sometimes they do them because bad things happen to them. I knew a doctor once, back when you were just a baby. He called it trauma. You have some too, you know. The thing where people can't walk up behind you.
I don't like my trauma.
This is a lot
wanna
of
get it off of me.
backstory, just a reminder.
How do I get
Not a
rid-
bad idea.
I don't even like the way the word sounds.
You sock it in the mouth.
It doesn't work like that. It's too deep down inside you. It never goes away.
That sucks.
But you can resist it, just like anger.
I still like them.
Yeah.
I like Tin the most,
I feel like
I think.
all the episodes
Even
of
if
the
he does
Walking
dumb
Dead series could have
Actually,
potentially just had more
he's
dialogue
my
like this
first real friend.
and
Oh yeah? I thought I was
Refresh.
your first real friend.
remind what
Yeah,
happened
but
in the previous
You
sections.
don't count. You're old.
Although at a certain
You're
point,
not.
Fine.
the way I
He's
played
my
this is
second
probably
first real
not the way they wanted you to play it, which was to play the first episode when it came out and then come back several months later for the second episode. And I will say the Telltale games were not terrible about long delays between episodes usually. But that's always a terrible experience. Episodic is just dumb as a concept, and I don't think anything would ever convince me otherwise. We're looking for James here. Which, I guess the question is which one of them is James. It'd be funny if we just found him dead.
I don't see James. Just monsters.
James?
You're hurt.
Did the Raiders do this?
It looked like they had people from your school. Why are you here?
Those people you
Let's-
saw? We're going to save them.
I'm wondering if you
To
get
do that,
bitten
you'd
by
help moving some walkers.
a zombie in this world, do you immediately turn? I think you
could
kind of do.
Maybe help, but my mask is still in the camp, inside my bag. I can't pass through a herd without it.
This is a better way
Let's go get
to
it.
depict
Please, I just
walking amongst
ask
the
that you
zombies.
don't kill them. The walkers. If you distract them, I can sneak over and find my mask.
Distract all of them?
Please.
I'll try.
Like in the TV series, they cover themselves in gooey, gross entrails and blood. So we introduced that as an idea that you could stun, and this was not in the previous games, and we now see why it was introduced. As a concept. Man, I can't walk any further. I don't know how we pull this off. Like, because you can only go so far here. Because we've got like 2 zombies. And then they get back up. And as soon as you get grabbed, then you lose. So is there any way to really pull this off? Really? Like, it doesn't feel like you can. Like, what? We can run. And they're trying to remind me that I can do that. And this is worse than the 2 previous episodes where it seemed so incredibly scripted. Alright, well, let's see. It says hold right bump to run. Alright, now. Like, my right bump is not making me run, really. At all. Like, I'm slowly moving forward. And that's pretty much it.
I don't know how long I can keep this up. Did you find your mask?
I can't find it. The horses must have... There!
Oh, shit.
We have to run.
Hey, over here!
What's crazy is they're not using the
There's
rocks
too many of them.
to distract them and sounds.
The cart. If we push it, the noise will draw them away.
Yeah, more of these quick time events. Things that I really don't like. This looks like a different cage than what they had before. Too, so I think it's the same cage, but they seem to have drawn it in more of a lighted way now, so I can see it better. If there was a real thing like
okay?
zombies,
Yeah,
I would really have to
relax.
wonder around the idea that
I know it would have been easier to kill them.
the
You're kind.
eardrums
I appreciate
and the
it.
ability to hear
Really.
would be like the first thing to deteriorate and go, looking at the state of like their eyes. And so unless they can sense like pressure changes or
Thank you for helping me get this back.
like vibrations.
Now,
But then again, the whole idea
I
of
will walkers
zombies,
save your friends.
kind of
We're being
makes no
held captive
sense.
on a boat not too far
Like a
from here.
virus taking over
We can't
the
sneak on board
brains of
without cover,
humans, and
not
yet
without the
still
raiders
making
gunning
them
us down.
somewhat
You
capable
want
of
to use walkers
controlling
to hide, to sneak on board their ship?
controlling the bodies.
That's
Is
insane.
kind of crazy.
It's our only chance.
I know that there are some insects that can control parasitically
I have
other
something
insects,
I need you
but
to see,
a human
so
nervous
you can
system
understand what you're asking.
is fairly
James.
complicated.
We still need his help, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's safe.
They make James out like he could be another romantic interest with Clementine, but
Just a little further.
it doesn't feel like they're going to give him enough time to be a romantic interest. Okay, we see a house. So what? This isn't like Clementine's house, is it? This isn't like the ranch. You can't run any further. The only thing slightly shocking here is just how overgrown this house looks, and in that it seems like it's fairly got like grid power, but still.
Must have had electricity here once.
It's not super crazy though for a ranch house, farmhouse to have grid power. Here we've got another toy. They've made up
Beatnik.
these. They've made this whole cartoon series and toy series of the disco broccoli gang, which that's the shirt we gave to AJ. It's fairly ridiculous to have achievements and collectibles in a game like this, and I'm glad you don't really have that in any of the other Telltale games. And oddly, that is like the one thing they tried to modernize their game series with, and it's about the dumbest thought possible.
A wind chime. Might be pretty in our room.
Yeah, something that can never make noise or it will attract people.
Clem, what's this?
It's called a salt lick.
Salt lick? Ugh, sounds gross. Or maybe it's actually good, like chips. Those are salty, right? Like the snack
Let's
bag in
see.
the car. Can I lick it?
Whatever you do, don't lick it. It tastes horrible.
Wait a minute, how do you know? Did you lick it?
Yeah, this is a callback to
I
like
don't
the
know.
first season. Like where Duck tricked you into licking it. And apparently that was both the conversation with AJ and otherwise. Yeah, we're in another kind of open area place. And I don't know why they needed to animate this open area place. The only thing I could think what would have been really, really crazy is if we go through this door and then it leads to a secret underground facility and it turns out that there are like scientists working on the cure, which I don't think is the case. I do have to kind of wonder about like the Last of Us, the first Last of Us game in particular, how there was a group of scientists that were trying to solve that zombie apocalypse. You don't see that in the Walking Dead series. You see pretty much all of society failed immediately. You don't see any real military. You don't see anybody who has managed to even maintain even the modicum of the old society. So if we just eliminate the big twists like scientists and secret facilities under here, we go in here, we're going to see a bunch of bodies. Are they going to be a bunch of walker bodies where the Whisperers had killed them? Are they going to be a bunch of the raided bodies because it's the Whisperers versus these raiders that are at war? Are we going to see some evidence of cannibalism? I mean, they've already played that trick. Unfortunately, The Walking Dead has kind of played every single trick that exists. And I imagine it all will just lead to where we think it's going to lead. I'd be very surprised if at the end of this episode it doesn't end with us assaulting the ship. We'll probably lose a couple more people. It seems almost like the good goal to hope for and bet on for a game like this is to assume that one or two people in every conflict will die until there is only a small collection of people left, and then the story will end, because that's just how the story's going to go. That's how it's always been. When you're given a decision, somebody dies. They probably should have been a lot less blatantly obvious about that in the first season. It really was the second episode, or the end of the first episode, where Lee had to decide between one person and the other. And if that had instead just led to an injury and nobody really died until like the end of the entire first season, that probably would have been better. That way we could have grown to love a lot of the characters. Right now, if Willie died, I really wouldn't care that much. If Ruby died, I wouldn't really care that much. Asim, we've barely got to know him. And yeah, even Violet doesn't really even matter. It'd be slightly sad, certainly, for all the time we put in with Clementine, and we put in a decent amount of time with AJ. It'll be sad to see one of those two die, but that's almost certainly going to happen, so I'm prepared for it. Whereas James, we've barely had 2 conversations with, so he could easily die. And that certainly creates a issue, certainly with this game, that it boils to the surface in the fact that you really are probably going to be put into a weird mindset playing a game like this, much more than any other video game, because most video games you want everybody to survive, and it's usually quick and surprising when somebody dies. Here it's such standard fare. Like, if you think about a game like Gears of War, for instance, there's probably only 2 or 3 people that die in any Gears of War game of the main characters. Or Halo, like, I don't think, maybe 1 or 2 people die there. Mass Effect, it mostly kept everybody alive. Yeah. They're really throwing away characters with their writing, and it's a bad concept. It's something you think you could do in a comic book, but it's not something you should even do in comic books. If Marvel killed off one of their superheroes every 5 issues, they would run out of good and popular superheroes very, very quickly. Same is true for DC. Whereas the death of Superman took them like 40 or 50 years to finally do the Death of Superman comic book series, and that caught people's attention because it was so rare and uncommon. And it was basically after that point that they started killing off characters a little too much, and now they've learned to not do it too often. Anyways, it's been about an hour, and I don't want to go any further with the story, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.